I want you to understand the right way of asking questions by way of an example. I'm going to try to give you an example. Stay with me. Try to focus on this example. Inshallah, the concept will become clear. I want you to pretend that I am your mathematics teacher, and you are 10 years old in school, and I'm your mathematics teacher, and I'm teaching you multiplication today. And I start teaching you multiplication, and then you raise your hand, and you say, which color is better, blue or orange? You're a math teacher, right? You should tell me. And I said, can you focus on what I'm teaching you? Then another student raises their hand and says, I want to know about addition. No, we're studying multiplication right now. No, but I want to know about addition. Can you tell me about addition? Then another one raises their hand and says, hey, so I have a question about calculus. No, you're in 3rd grade. Why are you asking about calculus? Can we focus on what we're doing here? What happens, the teacher's job is to take the minds of his students and get them away from the colors and from addition and from calculus, bring them back to this lesson right now, which is what? Multiplication. Focus on this. Focus on this. So this was a children's example. Let me take you to an adult example. Imagine you're in a university. Your parents pay a lot of money so you can get into this school. And finally you're sitting in the class, and this is also, maybe it's an accounting class or a math class. And after you sit in this class, it's very hard to get in this school. Everybody comes with their notebook, they want to write everything down, everything the professor says, they want to focus on it and pay attention to it. You raise your hand in your accounting class and you say, so blue or orange, which color is better? And the professor looks at you like, why did you come here? This is not what we do here. Why are you insulting this education? Go ask your friend this question. You didn't come to me for this purpose. You understand? You're not only insulting your teacher, you're insulting the other students, you're insulting the education, and you're insulting your parents who paid for your education. You understand this issue? Now watch this. Allah gave us a Quran. He gave us a messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes or no? He gave us these things. And He says about His surahs, لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ, so they think deeply about His ayat. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ, so you can think. When He says so you can think, He is making us focus on the things that He's talking about, yes? So what do we do? And we come to this, so what does the Quran say about this? And what does the Quran say about that? I have a question about this. I have a question about that. And you have all these other questions. And Allah is telling you and me, let go. Focus on what I'm giving you. Here's a surah. Here's an ayah. Here's revelation. Think about this. And when you think about this, then you will ask the right kinds of questions. Because now your thoughts have a direction. But what's happened with a lot of Muslims is, now you'll notice Muslims are starting to have doubt in Islam. And you will notice one thing that is in common among all of them. Their questions never come from studying the Quran. Their questions always come from outside, from some YouTube video here, some TikTok over there, some article over here, something they heard over here, they were watching the news, they were watching a movie, they have these questions, and then they say, Islam better give me an answer to all of my questions. It better answer curiosity A, B, C, D, and E. And if it doesn't have my answers, then this is not the right religion for me. Because now it's supposed to be like Google. When you ask Google something, it answers you immediately no matter what you ask. It has some answer for you. So Islam should be able to answer every question I have. What does it do? Obviously, Allah will not waste time answering your useless questions. Because you're not respecting what Allah is giving you. You're not giving time to that. You're not focusing on that. And so as a result, now I only have 2 minutes left. So I'll tell you what Allah shows us. He says when you keep asking these kinds of questions, it starts taking away your iman. With every question, your iman is being taken away. And slowly, 1% of iman got replaced with, I guess Islam doesn't have this answer. Then the next one, Islam's not that impressive. And you're becoming ungrateful for Islam. One of the words for being ungrateful is kufr. Kufr is not just disbelief. Kufr is also kufran and ni'mah. It means to be ungrateful. So Allah says, وَمَن يَتَبَدَّلِ الْكُفْرَ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. Are you going to ask questions like Musa was asked before? Because whoever replaces kufr with iman, meaning they took their iman, got rid of it, put kufr there instead, then they've gone off on the wrong path. That's why they are asking these wrong kinds of questions. This is a crisis because now, because of the devices that we have, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, new idea, new idea, new idea, new idea, constantly being bombed with new ideas. And with every new idea, you have different kinds of questions. And then you say, Islam doesn't have the answer. There's so many different ideas, and Islam has no direction, no answer. Now, this is the last thing I'll share with you. I'd like you to take this as the lesson. We all have questions. We're human beings. You can't help it. There's no way you can stop your mind from having questions. But try this for me. Take all of your questions, and you take a shelf in your brain, and you put them in the shelf, and you lock the shelf. Close it. Hold your questions. Don't think about them all the time. Let them go. And then start studying the Quran. Study the Fatiha. Study Baqarah. Study Ali Imran. Take time, even if it's little, 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. But study Allah's book and think about what Allah is saying. Think about what Allah... Don't think about it from the point of view of your question. I'm looking for the answer to my question. Let me see if I find it. No. Your questions are on pause. They're in the fridge. Let them get cold. Your focus is on what Allah is saying. And you know what's going to happen? So many of your questions will start disappearing. Because you'll realize those questions were pointless. There was no purpose to them. When Musa alayhi salam was asked, what color cow? There was no point to that question. When he was asked, is it a young cow or an old cow? There was no point to that question. There was no reason to ask that question. When the Quraysh said the Prophet ﷺ, isn't he a poet? Isn't he a magician? Isn't he? They asked all these questions. Allah didn't answer any of those questions. They say this, leave them alone. They say this, leave them alone. There are so many places in the Quran where people ask a question, Allah doesn't even answer it. أَإِذَا كُنَّا عِظَامًا وَرُفَاتًا أَإِنَّا لَمَبْعُوثُونَ خَلْقًا جَدِيدًا. When we are broken, our bones are broken in the grave and we turn into dust and decay, we're going to be made a new creation all over again? I'm going to be brought back to life? How? This is a question they asked. Allah said, قُلْ كُونُوا حِجَارَةً أَوْ حَدِيدًا. Go turn into metal. Go turn into a stone. I'll bring you. That's not an answer. That's like, this is a stupid question. It doesn't deserve an answer. So what does Allah do when you study the Quran? He guides your questions. Guidance does not come from answers. Guidance comes from asking the right questions. And that's the lesson that's being taught in this ayah. So in this short time, my hope is that as you put those questions on the side and you start asking Allah directly what He's talking about, focus on the lesson at hand, you will find that eventually you'll open that shelf and it will be empty inside.